my beautiful daughter, as I sent a picture to you the other day, I'm not going to get my phone out throughout the podcast, it's nothing worse, but she decided to run into the lounge with her brother holding a plate. Boom.
That's a split, that is.
That was a Bosch.
Stitches. Yeah, it's a hospital job, that, isn't it?
It's glue and steries.
Oh, that night?
Yeah, Mrs. on a spa day. And I'm at home with the kids on my own.
At least you weren't hungover or anything.
No, yeah, I was still tired. It was still Sunday. I was still tired. 4 days on. She come in, she's running there, went dosh, and then I was just like, no. And I had her, being a trained emergency first aider at work, completely shit my pants.
Did you? Because it's your own, isn't it?
Yeah. Had her, and I literally had it, and I lifted it out, and it started bleeding, and it started trickling down her arm. Shit. I was like, what do I do? So I just literally rang. I thought, I'm just going to ring 999. I'll pay enough tax. I'm going to fucking ring 999. Mr. Nine, I said, it's not an emergency, get it, but my 3-year-old has taken a laceration of impact to the head. We're in a position where I'm here on my own with another child as well. Are you able, is an ambulance able to come and actually glue on site? Because it's going to need a bit of treatment. There's 14-hour delays on an ambulance at the moment. 14. So you had to get in a taxi or drive yourself to the A&E. I went, oh, okay. So, yeah, cleaned it up and then she put a plaster over it and managed to get a nice, decent plaster over it.
What, both the kids down the hospital?
I dropped my little boy off to my father-in-law's and he said, just give us Benji, and then I took her, and my missus was just finishing off at the spa.
Oh, it's made my bum all out, that has. You know, where you get that fit of like, oh, fuck.
She, tough woman, she'll be a ground worker one day. She's nearly that tough. And she's literally just like, and then Benji's literally gone, Dad, who are you ringing? I went, I've just got to ring the ambulance, mate, just to get some advice from them. Ambulance! And he's crying his eyes out. And then Trixie's going, it's okay, Benji. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I'm like, she's nursing him. And he's 6 years old. She's 3. And he's like, she's fine, mate. She's fine. Yeah, poor boy. Because we always say to him, if you can mess her out, you're going to go to hospital. So he's always thinking that's like worst case.
Bless him.
But
that is funny.
Fatherhood.
Oh.
Shall we get going?
Are we not going? I thought we were going.
We are okay. We merge it.
Yeah, you cool put that back in, can't you?
Yeah.
Nice little bit.
Yeah, so he's such a caring father.
Yeah. Well, irresponsible, smashed her head open, but whatever.
She's learned from that.
That's one of my life. It's a Kerr's late life lesson. That was
definitely. I've done plenty of times. There's lots of times I said to my mum and dad, "I'm going to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital." So I hope no more.
Oh no.
Lee Wilcox!
That was a good rap, NG. I like that.
On the tools, my dear friend, how are you? Take 2. How are you? What was your title?
Co-founder and CEO.
Co-founder and CEO of On the Tools, the organisation doing a lot above and beyond for this industry. Thank you.
To say.
How are you?
Yeah, all right. I was not often I say this because I don't, when people go, I'm tired. I'm not tired. I just it's been a mad couple of weeks, hasn't it? I feel like I've spent a lot of it with you. Actually, it's been nice. Okay. But you have these periods of time, don't you, when you're just doing shit in life, I guess. But the Lost City thing banged, didn't it? And then
yes,
I was saying to Cal that. I always say this, that she's my life partner because she's my girlfriend. But girlfriend sounds weird. At this age, I always think like we got kids together and, that girlfriend sounds weird. Yeah. And then I can't say wife because we're not married. I always say life partner. And she's like, why'd you say life partner? It sounds weird. I'm like, I know. And she hates it. So I just say it even more. So my life partner, Cal, anyway.
The wonderful Cal.
She was like, it's mad, isn't it, at the minute? And I was like, yeah, it's a bit chaotic. And because of all the press stuff we had off the back of the launch of the Lost City, I ended up like unplanned being in London from like Sunday night to Wednesday, which I don't tend to stay away too much. I try not to.
Yeah. Especially for a big evening.
Yeah, we had the awards coming up, we did all this stuff, and the launch of the Lost City anyway was like a big one. In terms of planning, so there's been lots of things. It's been like a heavy 6 weeks, I would say, in terms of workload. So then, like, unplanned, that's a sort of like leave her in the lurch. You know what it's like when you've got kids. It's the same thing. You don't want to be away, and then sometimes you get dragged away, and then we're like we're a fucking wicked team. as in like tackling life. So you got all this logistical planning, and you try and get quite planned, and then something happens and it throws it out the door, and like it's gone. So like she's then going like, okay, I've got to do drop off, pick up, bedtime. Do you know what I mean? Every night, which is we share it, which we try and share as much as we can. So it's been a bit mental. I was saying to her earlier, she was like, "It's mad, isn't it?" And then like I'm away again tonight because I've got stuff on again in London in the morning. I've had this podcast tonight. I've had one earlier today. I've got one on Friday. I've got I'm at the Villa tomorrow.
Hey, Juve.
So, yeah, Villa Juve Champions League.
What was the last fixture they played?
You know what? I don't know.
Come on, fact check, Alex. You can do a fact check. Let's test him.
I like this. Like Joe Rogan.
Let's do it.
Oh,
no, we haven't done this yet.
Well. I love this.
I've been looking at it. I've been critiquing myself every day. I don't talk loud enough and clear enough into the mic.
This.
And now we've said Joe Rogan, and I've not gone to it now. So now Alex has just messed up already earlier by not pressing record. And we can out him. We can now put him to the test.
Yeah, I don't know who Juve played.
Edgar Davids must have been in that game.
So
Villa were a Champions League team back in the day, weren't they? Was it European football then?
Yeah, it's European. Yeah, it's European football. So we lost, didn't we? We had that away leg at remind me, Alex.
Munich?
No. Bruges.
Bruges.
Was it Bruges?
Bruges, you got beaten.
And we lost 1-0. Did you see it? Mings picked up the ball. It was mad. It was bizarre. So he basically, keeper had kicked it. He thought it was in the wrong position. He was going to, Mings was going to take the goal kick. So he picks it up and gives it back to the keeper. And then, done from ball, penalty, lose 1-0. Absolute wounder.
Alex, it was years and years and years ago. It won't be recently. Just put history. Juve, Aston Villa. We'll come back to you. You melt.
So Cal was just like, it's mad at the minute, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, but it's all for good, it's all for good reason. You just got to like motorate it. But I can't wait for Christmas. I cannot wait for Christmas.
Yes.
I feel like I'm running as fast as I can towards it. Tree's up. Been up for 2 weeks.
Has it?
Yeah, which is good for us.
So you've gone full tree?
We have. Yeah, you can't do a real tree at this time of year. Have you gone real tree already?
High level.
Early doors,
that's
that is,
it.
mate.
Yeah, no, we haven't put it up yet.
I was going to say, next week. Because we always go.
Everyone's like, everyone's getting theirs earlier. My missus is like, yes, because they've got non-real ones.
Yeah.
Like,
so we're
still thing though, isn't it? Get a longer Christmas.
So Cal's always on about having like multiple trees. I'm against it, right? I'm just like, you have a tree, you're done with it. Because her mom, they've got like 4 trees. So she's used to this like, we
live.
I mean, I know 4 trees. I mean, it takes them a whole day to do, like, and some to like do all. I mean, it does look amazing. Don't get me wrong.
It kicks off after one tree at our house.
I know. Well, this year, so we got the fake one, and I got one that was like built-in lights because we always end up having a row over the. It's like you envisage this. We're going to get the decorations out, and beautiful. Cal just hates
mulled wine.
She hates
Christmas carols.
Baileys. We're going to put the Christmas music on or a Christmas film.
Kids playing with stuff lovely in the corner.
10 minutes in, Cal wants to just like hit me with the tree.
Yep.
I'm getting pissed off because I can't work out how to get the lights around it. I'm shit at decorating stuff. I'm like visually not good at that sort of stuff.
I can't work indoors at anything.
That's a great. The groundworker's like, nah, I'm only good outside. Don't stick me indoors.
Honestly, I get sweaty.
It's good out, that is.
Yeah, I'm not a sweater, but I get panicky and sweaty. Anxiety kicks me, hands start getting clammy, and then I get a bit of heavy breathing, and then it starts getting a bit. Come on, should we get this done? Should I take the kids at the pub while this gets finished off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cal gets frustrated because then after 20 minutes, she's doing it on her own because I'm like, no, I'm not doing it then. And Ava's not interested. She's 13. She's like, I'm not doing that now.
It's like, what's the reality versus
Instagram? We do it in the night because we want to surprise Affy that the Christmas fairies have come to do it.
Yeah.
So all we've currently got up is the tree that had lights already built into it.
Yeah.
The decorations will come out next weekend, along with I think we're going to end up going and getting a real tree that might survive.
Yeah. We got 2. I think 4. We did get 2 real ones last year, and had one in the kitchen.
This is
one in the living room. However, be aware of temperatures because one died off quite quick because it was in a warmer room. The living room one went too quick, and then
which is what happened to us.
Yeah.
So this year, I think our kitchen ain't got a radiator in it. It's cold as fuck in there. Like, so that's where the real tree's going to go.
Yeah.
Fake one's in the. I do like the fake one. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's decent. But yeah, we're out early doors. We are this year. I've been quite happy with it.
Out the traps.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my favourite time. We're not into summer holiday this year because we decided to do a bit of renovation work, and now we are wanting to get into Christmas.
When will you knock it on the head?
The 20th. it this year? Yeah, the 20th is the Friday.
Yeah,
I
the
think,
Friday,
isn't
yeah.
it?
So that'd be your.
That will kind of be. We might pop in and have to do a little bit and bobs. I was actually thinking about bringing Benji in for a podcast and getting on it, see if we to do just for a little bit of joke and a little bit of play on the 23rd. Yeah, I'm not sure when the kids break. I imagine the kids break up the same
On
time.
that Friday,
don't they? Yeah, it
it'd
must be.
yeah.
But I will kind of knock it on the head. I can't see us going on site. We've got a bit of site work going on. Everyone, I think, will knock it on the head the 20th, and I think everyone's in a good enough place to go. Yes.
Mine will be at some point that week. I don't know when, but yeah.
Yeah, it just gets a little bit. I'm seeing it now. Meetings are kind of, should we just do this in January? Should we just do this in January? And
Yeah, I always try and creep that out until it gets to like first week of December, and then I'm like, okay, that can happen. But anything now, I'm like, no, we've got to do it this year.
Yeah,
I want to.
got to see it because groundwork's always been you work up to the last Friday sort of thing in the construction world. But then now from the construction support charity side and liaising with offices and corporate people and things, stakeholder share or whatever, like businesses in office worlds.
Yeah.
I've noticed that like September's just a no-go and there's nothing happens. Like, everyone disappears with the kids' holidays.
Yeah, August.
And it might be because I've hit parenthood as well now, or is it? I think on Christmas it's the same. You might as well catch up in the middle of January.
Once you hit, usually once we're at like the 14th of December, 15th September, you're done. Like, no one's about. Like, everyone's gone. But yeah, the kids will break up slightly later this year, so maybe it'll be different. But I just can't wait for it. I cannot wait to we're doing a fake Christmas this year as well. So we're doing like 2 Christmas days. So on the 7th, I think, of December, on like the other side of the family,
Thanksgiving,
we're all like getting together to do like a fake Christmas day, which I'm really looking forward to. And then we'll do a smaller one on Christmas Day because we've got less people on Christmas Day. So do you host?
We are this year. We're hosting. On our one, I've got my in-laws round, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and my grandmother-in-law.
I feel like you might be the person who's getting the old Christmas pinny on and taking hold of the turkey.
Well, I want to be. My wife also agrees it would be lovely for me to. I'm just not that good at cooking.
Oh yeah, see, so I hate it.
Yeah,
I am.
I'd love to just nail it.
It's the one thing that I like in my life. I'm like, I wish I can be better at this, but I hate it so much. I don't even attempt to get better at it.
You've got to have an engineering mindset rather than a groundworker's mindset.
Cal's great at it.
Yeah.
And so we've started doing the whole Gusto and HelloFresh?
HelloFresh, yeah.
And I can just about get through a meal on it if it's basic, and if it's anything more than basic, I'm in a flap. I can't deal with all the things. There's too many things to do. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's the same when if I go into a shop. It's why I hate shopping so much. I don't just mean food shopping. I'm on about like any form of like shops.
Yeah.
Once I get in there,
I can't eat now.
I can't concentrate on. There's too much stuff. So then when I was like, what about this? And I'm like, I must have something wrong with my head. I just can't concentrate on it. It's even worse when I go food shopping because I can't see anything.
Don't we get this for next Wednesday? What?
Yeah.
I want everything I want to eat now. I want it now. I can't think ahead.
Yeah.
But crazy stuff. On the tools then, Lee, we've got to know each other closely over the last year or two. It would be 18. It must be 18 months. It is 18 months.
You reckon, yeah?
It does feel longer, doesn't it?
It does feel longer, yeah.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
But On the Tools come around 10 years ago, wasn't it?
10 years ago, yeah.
And it was set up to be an app.
Yeah, recruitment app, yeah. Because basically, the story goes, we're pissed on a Friday night. I'm living at my mum and dad's, recently divorced. Ad's come round, we're in the garden, we're having a few, and he's moaning about the fact he can't find a plaster on a job he's on. I think he was on a hospital job in Mansfield.
What was his job role?
He was like shop fitter, basically. So it was like, I guess more multi-trade when he was doing the hospitals, but then kind of went into... I think he started his own business and then started working for another business where they were doing loads of like hairdresser like fit outs, I think. So like partitions and like he was basically doing that through when he was at like hospitals and prisons and stuff. And I'm sure he was on a hospital at this point. Anyway, he's moaning about the fact he couldn't find someone. He was getting loads of grief that he didn't have enough people on site. And he said he had some guy who knew someone down the pub to sort it out. This had happened that day, and he said, remember him saying, he said, this geezer turned up. He said, I could just fucking see. He said, I seen him. And I knew this was the guy that my mate had put me in touch with. I seen him come in. He said he had a plastic Morrison's bag with like a couple of trousers in and some just, he said, I could just see this geezer had just been given some shit or he got some shit. I knew he wasn't going to be able to do anything. Yeah. He said, so as soon as he rocked up, I was like, have you done this? Like, and he was like, yeah. And then he was like, have you? Because I don't think you've got a fucking plastic bag here, Morrison's bag. Like, what, He said, I could just tell. And he said, so I just put him on the 8th floor and got him out of the way. Because I just needed someone on. He said, but it's shit. He said, I'll basically go through my phone book or I'll use a recruiter. He said, and like 8 times out of 10, the recruiters are shit. He said, don't really like using them. He said, they cost me more money or they're taking off the lads. So it's like, it doesn't really work. And then we just like, spitting ideas, and I wasn't in the industry then. I do class myself as being in the industry now. Obviously I'm not boots on the ground, but
you got a Splinter now.
I just got Splinter before health and safety or what, man.
What gloves? Did tell you, don't say you signed up.
Yeah. All right, mate.
Signed the brief before.
I did sign, I signed the waiver. And so we came up with this idea for a recruitment app. That was what it was going to be. It was going to connect subbies to contractors and vice versa. And, you had things like check a trade, rated people, but it was all like vetted tradespeople into your home. There wasn't anything that was sort of for site.
There probably isn't really now, is there?
I still don't think anyone's cracked. I think there's quite a few people who have had a go at it. And I think there's a few in market at the minute, but it's really, really hard. It's so fragmented, and I'm talking to someone who deals with it every day. But I think we've spoke about it before, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. Because fixed construction I speak to.
That's
they're trying to do quite in the civils world, really, the infrastructure world, but there's not anyone encompasses all of it. No, but then there are so many agencies out there.
And this
now,
is the thing, and so like we ended up coming with this idea, and we were like, well, this was the business plan. We were like, we just need 100,000. Builders, construction workers, whoever, like, it doesn't really matter what trade, we're just going to get 100,000 in one spot. We'll launch the app, they'll download it, we'll sell the business. Like, that was the business plan. And then Ad was like, I got loads of funny videos. We'll just start a Facebook page. We'll get them all. He had like 4. So then we had to spend like weeks just sort of scouring YouTube, stealing content and reposting it. And then, like, after 3 months, we had 250,000 people following the page, and it just banged. I was getting, like, 200 messages a day. So I've got a job that isn't this. And then I get home to my mum and dad's, watch, because it was all video content. I'd watch every single video. So it's like 200 videos a night. So, like, and I know it doesn't sound like a lot.
People is like sending them into.
Sending them in. So, but each one's 30 seconds, if not a minute, 2 minutes. So you got a couple of hours just doing that. I'd reply to every single person. Then I'd work out which content I wanted to post the next day. I'd schedule it. I was doing like, I'd get home, I'd eat, and I'd just go straight upstairs into my mum and dad's spare bedroom, and I would sit for 5 hours until 1 a.m, and I would do that. I did that for 6 months. Just that's all I did. But obviously we had no money, and like the app wasn't ready, and we were just in this position where we were kind of waiting for it. Yeah. But then there was this expectation where I was like, well, I can't keep doing this. This is madness. Like, something's got to give. And so I went part-time, I think. I blagged the business I was working with. I said to him that I was like...
So that business was...
Leisure leagues.
Hey!
Fuck you. Like, no, I'm joking.
I'll hide behind this because I think that we owe him some money.
Oh, you played in the league?
The cousin rang me out. He said we owed him about 300 quid apparently.
I actually learned a lot there. I had a bad experience when I left, really. They weren't that great about it. They were a bit of dickheads about it. But generally, like, I was there for 10 years. So it's not like, really, and there's obviously bits you don't like about your job. But generally, like, I learned a lot, worked with some great people, and,
hats off to anyone who goes from Birmingham to pretty much Hackney Marshes somewhere. Where was it? East London, was it? To go and ref a game.
Yeah. I've done a lot of travelling with that job. Like,
if someone rang me now and said, can you go to East London to manage a 5-a-side football? I wouldn't go around the corner and manage a 5-a-side tournament. Yeah. You're walking into, as a Brummie boy as well, coming in, eating alive.
Yeah. Sunday afternoon down Hackney Marshes was a rough game, man. But I tell you what, it gives you life skills doing that shit. I'm telling you, as a young
Yeah.
person going down and just reffing wherever you need to go and ref,
Yeah.
and you're just dealing with like burly blokes who want to kick the shit out of each other, and it's your job to just make sure, one, they pay you cash,
Yeah.
and two, those games go ahead and no one like gets their head kicked in.
Because they learn how to, they go off, don't they?
Mate, yeah. You learn how to sort of deal with like just managing people and just trying to sort of like calm scenarios down, and I don't know, and it gives you people, because really the best way to disarm people is with like humor usually, or like, you know, or vulnerability.
Oh, that's fair. Run.
Or run. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So most of the time I'd just be like, lads, you're killing me. Like, look at me. What am I going to do with you? Like you're all going to tear me a new one. I can't do it. You know, it would be very much like that.
My experience as well, because it was suddenly you all play five-a-side. There's always people in town you don't like, especially a town like where I grew up. There was people who did, and there were people you got along with a lot of people. But then suddenly this franchise comes in with Leisure Leagues, whatever it operates, and then they're like, you can win this, and there's money at the end what can be won, or you can do it. And suddenly it goes
entering into the national tournament.
Yeah.
Mate, so I used to run that. That was my gig.
Was it? Yeah. So all the people then were in a position with like, we don't like them. I went playing them. Yeah, but if we could get to the final, and it was like everyone was like, we're going for it. And then like towns of people who knew they didn't like each other were like, there's something at stake here now. Yeah, like this isn't about just here. We're going national.
Now, to be honest, I had a you know, it's easy to look back on things when you're in it and all that, but when you look back, I had some good years there, and like I did care about the like well, it's like anything. Like, I'm a person that once I'm doing something, I'm going to give a shit about it, otherwise I just won't do it.
Vested.
Yeah. So anyway, I did that, and so I was doing that on the day, and then coming home and doing that. I went part time for about 4 weeks. I think I used childcare as I basically was like, I'm getting divorced from my mum and dad, so I'm not seeing my daughter, which I wasn't at the time. A lot. Saw her for short periods of time on a Sunday. Not my choice, obviously, just the way it had all sort of fell out. And then what we did was, we knew we just needed some cash, and I said to Ad, like, we've got to get some money. I'm never going to be able to once I jump onto this, I will move it forward, and I don't need a lot, because I'm like, I haven't got any outgoings at the minute. I'm on my arse. Like, I'll take a shit wage. Yeah, I will drop from what I'm on now, but we've got to have something that's like secure. And so we asked the community for like slogans of like hoodies and t-shirts and like just funny slogans, and we it was a great business model. We took the funniest, the ones with the most likes and the comments. I took like 6 of them, got images off Google, made some shit designs, launched this store for like 48 hours. We sold £800 worth of merch. Yeah. I shut the store. Don't know why I shut it. I think it's because I was frightened about us selling things that I don't know. Because we had nothing. I had no stock. I had nothing. We'd just done these images and then gone like, I wonder if people buy them. People did.
You're not supposed to buy them.
Yeah. What? Mum! And then I went in and quit my job. I was like, fucking done it. Yeah. I done it. I think everyone thought I was having a breakdown. Because ultimately I'd sold out. You know, I'd sold about, I mean, what would it have been? There were about 20 hoodies. Do you know what I mean? Or 25 hoodies. It was you know, it wasn't a lot. We sent the first ones out. I've made it. I've sent the first ones out in black bin liners. Superb. With like handwritten addresses on in my mum's living room. And then we did like 350 grand's worth of sales that year. It was fucking mental. It was wild. But I don't think we were making any money. It was this thing where we were just like PR. Well, we're just turning it, because we had nothing. We must have been paying through the nose for like getting, because everything was outsourced. So what we were really doing was getting it back, packing it and sending it out again. So it was like the margins on it were like tiny.
We've been looking at the merch ourselves. That thing.
Yeah. You can make money on it. You can. Yeah. We had to take it all in house. So in the end, we had like a big like direct to garment like printer, and you know, the 4 of. So I got my mum to start working for us. She worked for us for free for 6 months because I had no money to pay her, but she was not working at the time. She was like, I'll just do it. Ad's wife at the time was working as well for us. There was the 4 of us, and we would like, me and Ad would do the content in the day, because basically about 2 months after that, Ad quit and was like, I'm doing it. We've got enough money. Like, I'll deal with the content, you deal with the store, and we'll like work it out. So that's what happened. And he was much better at the content because he was in it. He was,
Yeah.
he's funny guy, creative, understood it, was in the trade, so it was like the perfect. He was like the person we were trying to reach anyway.
Yep.
I was the one who wanted to sort of like go, okay, well, how can we do the business bit and how do we make money and like how do we grow the business? It kind of worked really well. So we both just took those roles, and then that was it. Then
There's
really,
a beauty with knowing that you're different people, isn't it? Because you think, I suppose, at naive like, you're like, if we're both the same, we could do really well here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like me and Craig, the business partner, the groundwork side. He looks at me like, you're a nightmare. Steve. How do you even do this? Like, what are you even thinking? Like, and he's mentioned something. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know about that. Tax man, don't about him. And then I'll. Yeah, then there'll be things where he'll be like, I just need to know this person. I'm like, oh, I know the person. Bang, there you go. Wallop. And you can bring different things to the table, isn't it? I think you learn that, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And I think between the three of us now, so me, Ad, and Mark was involved at the beginning. So but he moved to London. He was in banking and he moved to London. So he was really sort of like, he was removed from like operational stuff. We'd always have like a monthly like a shareholders meeting. I mean, I don't know what the fuck it was at that point, really. Yeah. But and then he came back from them and was like, I want in. Like we've got, I want in. And now like it's kind of, we're in this mode now where like I'm good at like the big ass sort of picture stuff and then the absolute minute detail. But anything in between it, so like the delivery, the thinking on who we need to get to, I'm so shit at it. So like things will start to fail if I hold on to them for too long. So what tends to happen is I will get obsessed with something and be in the detail of it so that I really, really understand it. I have then this big idea of where I want us to go with it, and then I can't deliver the middle of it. Yep. I can't do it. Whereas Ad is great at that bit. Yeah. Really good at it. Yeah. And Mark is the relationship guy. Like Mark's really good on the client side. So it's like between the three of us, we're kind of, and that's his background, was like client relationships in banking. It was client relationships in all the roles he's done before. So it's like we've ended up in this like nice trifecta of like, I'm going to run and I want everyone to follow me. Yep. Ad's going to make sure that he's behind me being like, this guy's a dickhead, but we're going where we want to go. And Mark's being like, don't worry, everyone. This is how we're, this is where we're going, and you should all come along with us. You know, the ship. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, yeah. You know, and I think it's. Yeah. I definitely think over the last 18 months we have really started to motor in terms of like the mission and like being more purposeful on like. So the missions, is that what you base your white papers on? The missions? Yeah, well, like the mission is, and this this came about. I'll tell you a quick story. So like this came about. So I got asked to go and essentially do what I'm doing now, right? Which is come and tell the story of OnTheTools. I know you've not asked me to do that, but what we're doing right now, telling that story. And I got asked to go. I got asked to go and do this thing at a college in London, and I'd only done a couple of them before. And I thought, yeah, I'll go and do it. And I got there, and it was like 350 people. It was like massive, and I thought, oh, shit, like, and I'd done a presentation, and like me and Ad have took photos of everything, you know, as we've gone along, and videos was dicking around in our first little shit office, and like, you know, so I'd got loads of content. I'd obviously got loads of video content anyway from the trade, and I told this story of how I've got photos of the first hoodies we sent out, those black bin liner ones. I've got those. I've got the first delivery we got. I've got loads of different stuff. So I sort of built this presentation out, and I thought, oh, this is like fun, represents me, the brand a bit. Did all that, got laughs in all the right point. I thought, this is great. And then there was a Q&A afterwards, and I got fucking battered on it. Like just question after question. There was a queue of people being like, why do your videos not represent the industry well enough? There's no like diversity in there at all. It's just loads of white blokes. What about health and safety? You're putting all these videos out, you know, loads of things, right? And I left and I was fucking fuming. I got on the train, I rang out, and I was like, I've come down here, I've got battered like I own construction, and like, you know, I've given my day out for free, and I've got battered there. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah. Anyway, I go in the next morning, and we had an area of the office that we called, at this point, which is our second office. We're slightly bigger now, so this is probably like, where are we? We're like 4 years in, maybe, I would say. Maybe 4 or 5 years in. 2018-ish. Yeah, 2018-ish. Yeah, I would say it's about then. And we had like an area called Hogwarts. It was like a table like this actually, but longer. Where we would do all our company meetings. Everyone did their lunch around it. It was
Shareholders
like,
table.
yeah, it was just like it was the table that everyone did everything on. Like it was the only table we had. And
If the table could
I
tell
got
a story.
in. I got in early, and he was already in. He was there, and he had 2 brews. And I walk in, and he's like, "You're right," and I'm like, "Yeah, you know." And I start moaning again about this thing yesterday, and he was like, "Stop being such a fucking baby." Like, they're right. He's like,
Yeah.
"They're right." He's like, "What are we doing for these people?" He's like, "We've got this massive community that's growing at a pace we can't dream of, yet we're not doing shit for them." He's like, they are let down. He's like, if I talk, you know, and he was like, "I ain't long off the tools." He's like, "I still feel it. I still see it. I still, you know," he's like, "We're not represented. We ain't looked after. We do get knocked for pay. Like, it is shit." He said, and
Raw
like,
truth.
yeah, and he's like, you're not looking at it right. We have got to do something. He's like, he's like, we're making them laugh and we're entertaining them. Okay, that's fine. He's like, but what are we doing? Like,
That goes, I think, probably where to. I remember you said it, always stick when you said, "We've got this audience. Your business has been successful. You now have a responsibility."
yeah.
Yeah, it's the healthiest thing. I remember hearing it, thinking, "Yeah, fair play."
And it is exactly that. And it, you know, and he called it out, and then said we spent that next year just being like, okay, well, what is it we're trying to do? We shut down the store, so we had that merch store still, and we shut it down because we were like, well, 90% of the business is working on the community, the content, all of that. We've got 10% of the workforce working on that. Yet the office is like a 50-50 split because obviously your merch takes up loads of space. You got all this stuff, and so we were like, we're not. What we're trying to do? Oh, you know, I remember the meeting we had actually where we decided to shut the shop down, and it was, you know, my mum was still working for me, and so it was an emotional, like, I was like, what, like, really, you know. Ad's wife was still working in it. There's a few other people that we employed who I knew, you know, they were friends and family and all that sort of shit, you know. And you're like making this decision to be like, no, we didn't put anyone out of work. We moved them into the business to do different things, but
Promoted.
I knew my mum would be wounded. You know, in my head, I kept thinking like, oh man, she's, you know, she worked for free. She lent me 10 grand to get this first printer. You know, the 10 grand they didn't have. Do you know what I mean? Like, we ain't, like, we're not like, I don't come from money. We're not a flush family. Like, it was a big thing for mum and dad to do, but they believed in what we were doing. And I was like, I'm going to crush her dreams. Like, you know, like I remember thinking, but the question got asked. I can't remember who asked it of the 5 of us, because this point there was 5 shareholders that, and 3 of us were like, but 4 of us, sorry, were working in it. And one of them said, "Are we trying to become the biggest workwear brand in the world?" And I was like, "Nah." And they're like, "Well, fucking, we need to get rid of it then." And I was like,
cut it off.
"Oh, you're right. There's you're absolutely right. We're just not. That's not where we're heading." So like that focus, that I always remember that meeting, because I remember coming out of it being like, right, we are like, this is where we're going now. And
you need that slap in the face.
Yeah. So that's where the mission came from, this connecting construction to improve the lives of every tradesperson in the UK. And we just haven't moved off it. And I think we started to like invest into more data. But that's what drives us. I think about it every fucking day. I have an alarm, right? I'll show you this now. I've never shown anyone this. Sorry, I'm getting my phone out, which I know
exclusive.
Which I know is a banned rule.
No, it's not. No, it's me. I normally go into it, and I tell myself not to.
I have an alarm that goes off 6:15. Yeah, I'll show it. 6:15 every morning.
AM. Improve the lives. Ah, there we go.
I put it in there years ago because I was like, I'm a big believer in
not having a lie in.
Not having a lie in terms of like that, like repetition of like, now look, that's not the only reason I get up. I've got a family that I care about more about than I do that mission, right? But beyond that, that is the thing that I wake up for. Like and when I get up, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I think about it every fucking day. Like, and I think sometimes you can kind of kid yourself and be like, okay, which I think we probably did for years, where we're like, yeah, we've got this amazing business, but we didn't know, there was no purpose. And purpose is just everything. It's like, if you ain't got it, then your business will be all right probably, but I don't want an all right business. I don't even, sometimes refer to it as a business, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's a business, but I'm like, someone said to me the other week, you're like becoming like a union, aren't you? And I was like, I said, look, I don't want to be a union, but I was like, I really love the fact you've just said that to me.
Yeah.
Because that to me, someone outside looking in is like representing. It's someone we're going like, no, we're above this. We want to try and like make some change. So, you know, I'm really, it's my life's work. It is like, you know, we've been doing it 10 years. I think we can have another 10 years of doing something amazing. I think the first 10 years we were finding our feet.
Yeah.
And I think the next 10 years we're going to like absolutely,
the next decade
of it. I think we're going to do some stuff that we'll look back on. And I think that other people will look at and be like, shit, how did that happen? I want to look back at it and be like, how the fuck did we do that?
I think we'll touch on it and we're going a bit throughout, but the Lost City campaign as well, bang. I think does that mark the start of the 10 years to the next 10?
Yeah. I mean, it's, I mean, actually, the date, it's an interesting thing because it's like 3 days, the 14th we launched, wasn't it? 14th November, Thursday 14th. So that's 3 days after the 10-year.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow,
so
how about that
the
11th
of November was when we officially created the business. Now, the idea of me and Ad, when we were picked, that was the 8th of August. No, the 6th of August, sorry. The 6th of August, 2014. And then the business became a proper business officially on paper, 11th of November. So there's like a big, maybe it did, I don't know. Never really, there was never like a plan of like, let's align this with our 10 years.
Yeah. Because if anything, it was like, we've got to delay it again.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
on. And we spoke about it briefly a long
behind
time
the scenes.
ago.
There was a lot of planning, wasn't there? And we had to move things around. We got let down with some stuff, and we had to move it again. And like it was
just the idea, wasn't it? That was changing.
The idea was changing.
Yeah.
We'd gone so big on what we wanted to do that, you know. And again, actually, this is my point earlier around me being like, this is what we're doing and this is where we're doing it, and then not being able to deliver it. I was the problem in why we had to move it, because we'd come up with this big idea around the hard hats, and then I'd gone like, that's the one, right? But there'd been no planning into like, well, how are we even going to get hold of 7,000 of them?
Eggs in basket on that idea.
Yeah. So like, but what I would say is by making that decision and going like, this is what we're going to do, it forces you to think and go, okay, well, how are we going to do it? And then you go, okay, we can't do it. And then you go, okay, well, we've committed to something now, so we're doing it, right? But we've got to work out how we're going to do it. So it grinds the like rocks together to go like, I get it, you know. And I had loads of people in the business being like, you're mad, like we're running out of time, this is going to fail. And I'm like, nah, like, okay, if we need to move it, that's fine. But by hook or by crook, guys, once it comes to the middle of November, because we can't go later than that, because it goes into Christmas and people stop caring about things because it's Christmas, and I get it. I was like, we ain't going past this date. We have got to solve this problem. And guess what? You solve it. Because once you get enough great people who are passionate about doing something, you fucking find a way.
I was telling someone yesterday about it, and the buzz of saying about the day and how it worked, because I hadn't really spoken out loud the process of what happened on that day. I didn't really compartmentalise it, maybe. What word? Might be 2 words. I don't know. not clever enough to know.
1 word in it. Alex, fact check it.
So I was like, this is going on. When is it? Blah, blah, blah. When is it? And then I was like, we've got to be on a job for 2 days in Wimbledon. Can we go and do this? Can we go and do this? And I've got to be at a prison project as well the day after. And I was like, okay, when's the date with this campaign going off? He was like, the 14th. I was like, shit, that's in the middle. And I was like, and then the jobs all went up the Swanee, and one got done the day before, and the other one got put back a day. And then this day opened up, and the 14th was completely free for us. And I was like, yes, in my diary, I've planned it. Yeah. And I spoke to the boys well in advance, like 6 hours before we due to get my van. And it was like, boys, we're going to London tomorrow morning. That was what time? I was like, picking you up at 4:30, was it? 5:30? Like, it was. I'm normally a 5:30 man, but this time I was like, I'm picking you up at 4, literally earlier.
It was wild early, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, cool. And I was like, what are we doing? I said, we're just going to London. And according to Lee, and we're meeting, it was just we're going to Parliament Square. I was like, cool, yeah, no worries. No, well. So we've gone to Parliament Square and then got there at 6. And it was just like, what we're doing? Oh, we want to put these here. Okay, we're putting these signs here. Lads, can you just go over and put these ones? Okay, what's that? That's Parliament. Go over there. They've got guns. I was like, okay. Morning, officers. And I'm thinking, we haven't got orange paint and we ain't chaining ourselves to nothing.
Yeah.
And they were so good. And we spoke to the officers and they said, this is what we're doing. This is what it's about. I said, blah blah. And she said, okay, no worries. I said, what is it? Is there anything planned with it? And all I said, yeah, it's kind of planned, but no one's allowed to know about it because it's like we're now just letting you guys in on it because you're lucky because you've got guns and we want to put these signs in. And they were really good. And they said they gave us a DAB number, I think it was, DAB 1026 or 1206, whatever it was. They said, yeah, if you have any issues around the square now with the police, just let us know. And I was like, fair play. They kind of get it, I think. The emergency services guys get it, don't they? They know, guys and girls of all these industries, that they know the bigger picture of mental health.
I mean, interestingly, I thought London, the reason I chose to go to London and the reason I chose to get you and Gav from Band of Bills to London is because I thought it was going to be the most difficult one.
Yeah.
And I thought they're going to need people who can talk about the campaign. And obviously we've got loads of trades involved on the ground of being able to, pull this off. Without them, it just wouldn't have happened, right? But I thought London was going to be the most trickiest place.
Pull the charity cards out all day long.
But it turned out to be
even Downing Street.
The easy Downing Street. That was sound like
we turned up. There was like 10 of us there, wasn't it? Squad heavy up, tradesmen in their gear. And then there was after we had our orange jackets on, and was like, "Hello, Mr. Officer.
Hello.
Do you mind if we just put this here?
Are you okay? Can we?" And he came out, didn't he? And they were brilliant. And it was really interesting because I think they're so used to having some form of protest or something going on there. That they were like, well, these guys are polite. They're doing something that seems really purposeful. They're not causing any disruption. They're just making a point, which is, I think, what ended up being kind of so special about it was that we did it across 10 cities, all in unison. No one knew about it. It pulled off. There was a couple of cities that fell early.
When you said that, I felt like I've not been a military campaigner in my life. You feel like you're going to battle, and it's like, how are we going? We're standing strong. And then you said, Leeds has fallen. Leeds has fallen. I was like, and I felt it. You felt it. Literally, you felt it going, shit, it's falling. I was like, I've only been to Leeds on a night out once. I don't know what it's about, but I was invested into it.
I know, that was it.
And there's Newcastle's having issues, and I look on WhatsApp, and there's a picture at the cafe, and some bloke's got his hands on the sign. Then what was the other one? It was Leeds.
Birmingham.
Balfour BT come out and took the sign down. And took it down. And then all these different things. And it was the buzz, but it was all held together till 10:30, pretty much, wasn't it? Like nobody knew. The people in the know knew, but then you guys were pushing the button to let everyone know to push the button out.
Yeah. I mean, that, the buzz on the day, that WhatsApp group was alive, wasn't it? It was. I mean, what an amazing group. I feel like we've ended up, even just the WhatsApp group, I'm like, there's something special in that, let alone what ended up,
it's just the stories that have come through before, more so after, obviously, isn't it? And I think that's what it was. And I think me and you walked up, Prince said to you, but you showed me the picture of that little boy and girl that you're holding hands, looking at that sign, and you're like, whoa, it gets you big time. But then I kind of thought then, wow, we've actually done something here. And that's just a picture of. I kind of thought, like, my son and daughter, like, and a sign. You know what I mean? What are they looking at? They might be boyfriend, girlfriend, who know? But they're just like, what are they thinking? Or not thinking that, but I just thought we've given that space. To think.
And I knew something was. So the night before we'd had, because we'd held on to the press, we'd sort of done like a press embargo so that we didn't get too many people talking about it before we'd actually done it. But that the Wednesday night before, we'd had loads of radio interviews booked in for the next morning. I was like, oh, that's like unusual. Like, we've not had that before on previous campaigns. We've had like bits, but there was like 10. And I was like, wow, like that's a bit mad. And the guy who was dealing with it for us was like, yeah, there's going to be loads more than this as well. This is just the initial like kick in. And then obviously from there, we end up getting like press, TV, broadcast stuff. I've got one tomorrow. I think Sky News is happening on Thursday as well. So we've still got some stuff that's like bubbling along and happening, which is, incredible. And then in the morning when I started seeing the images and them going out, and then I started to see people post it on social, I was like, oh, I think we've done it. I think this is going to catch fire. And then it did.
Yeah. And it really did, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
And then just to literally add a little bit of a cherry on the cake, our man goes up there and starts singing his little song in front of it.
What the hell was that all about?
His name?
Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims.
Yeah.
I've watched those guys so many times. I'd love to be in London when he's there. I'll say something. We just missed it. Imagine we could have been there with it, but just see Teddy Swims sings at some Piccadilly Circus.
And
like
we weren't
quite an
gonna,
iconic song as well.
fair play to Connor, because we weren't even going to do Piccadilly Circus. We were going to
You
just
did,
stay
yeah,
around
literally
Parliament,
last
and
minute,
he was
yeah.
like, "No, I'm like, they're all being sound. We're missing a trick. I'm doing it." And he just went.
Yeah.
And
Well, now think of a marketing campaign in front of the biggest marketing billboards in the world, and there is messages coming on. I noticed a couple of days in through the traction that we got on LinkedIn that the back end of it, when the traction started going down, then messages from like the States started coming in, and a few in Holland, I think, and then Australia, and then like, you can see our network across the world of LinkedIn of all just different people scattered around it. Just thought, wow, this message has gone big, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was like, do we need to go to New York? Do we need to go to Sydney? I think we should.
yeah,
But I don't know how we pay for tickets.
No.
But yeah, incredible, because the problems are worldwide, and it is. I think that's why you could see the traction of it and the people. Even at Parliament, we had an American couple come up to us, LD, and that guy was part of. An Australian couple, and he was part of a suicide awareness campaign back in Australia or kind of organisation, and he was like, "This is amazing. What's this about?" And I said to him, "He's like, I do this back there," and you're connecting with people worldwide. But the message was outside construction, and that's where we've noticed the power can come when people outside the sector go, "Shit, didn't realise that was going on in there."
Yeah, well, anyone I spoke to who was outside the sector, like a lot. That's what I noticed from the broadcast stuff we did. So all the TV stuff and radio, actually, they were all just like, just didn't know, just not aware of these numbers, didn't know this was going on.
The lost city.
And then that, yeah, and then
it's literally there.
Yeah,
we got it. Even through COVID, people didn't realise the people who are out there. I know nurses did, and banged that kind. We banged that heavily. There's the picture there. So people don't realise it until people think, how do you think this world goes on? Like you guys said, how do you think these buildings are built? How do you think?
It's the air we breathe.
Yeah, I spoke to a good friend of mine's wife earlier when I was at jiu-jitsu with a little boy, and she said, "What do you do when you work nights in Steve in construction?" I was like, on the railway. He's like, "Yeah, just to maintain it and keep it running." And she's like, "Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh yeah, these things, the oil that greases those tracks, is greased when you guys are in bed, and the little things like it's like when you think the world's on hold till 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. I know everyone thinks like that, but just remember 24/7. Predominantly, the construction workers are out there in one way, shape, or engineers or
and it's
engineers.
everywhere we look.
Yeah, everywhere you look,
Everywhere we look, everything.
Yeah. There was I saw a stat the other year about one person in every household in the UK is related to the construction sector, and I was like, and it could be from an accountant that does the books on things, but they're involved. Without them, the business of a construction company can't go around. I suppose it can go whatever way you can look at it. But I was like, it's an interesting stat, especially when you look at connecting with people in the construction world.
And this is why it's so, I think this is why it's so frustrating that we're in a position where I still don't think construction is sort of taken seriously is probably not the right way of wording it, but I guess it is that at government level, I'm like, it's still an industry where people are like, yeah, it'll be all right. It just sort of it carries on.
Yeah,
it there's loads of problems. Yeah, but it sorts itself out, and I'm like, how can we be the biggest contributor of SMEs of any industry yet?
So disregarded.
Be so disregarded. What why isn't there a department for construction? Why is it fed into business and trade, and it's a little part of that? We've got a construction minister, but I can't actually remember her name. I think it's I'll fact check again, Alex. I think it's Sarah someone, but what does she do?
Yeah,
I've never heard. I didn't know there was one, and then I'm like, well, and then I think, well, how can we? As our business, I'm like, well, then that's our, we've just got to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think this is what's ended up happening with this campaign. Yeah. I think with other things we've done, and
100%.
Is you just go, okay, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves. And like, if the industry's not going to sort of step up and go, okay, and government aren't going to go, you know what, these guys need representing, then I'm like, okay, well, we'll do it then.
It's massive, isn't it? I mentioned it to a friend of ours, and she said to me, Steve, somebody wants to speak to you within the Labour Party. I was like, okay. I think this has been the idea come around about me becoming president. First president in the UK. And
Goes like for office.
make construction great again.
Make construction great again, yeah.
And then
Macca.
And yeah, she was like, they've got every reason to speak to you or even what you're doing because you represent such a large pool of people that the course they'd want you as part of their party. And I was like, I could see it. Standing there.
Imagine.
The Downing Street last week.
Yeah.
welcome back, Mr. Kerslake.
Yeah. We've got some signs for you to pick up.
yeah. The geezer at Westminster Council wants paying.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is literally my thinking. Wow, yeah, there is, and the industry. I work in the industry and have done since I left school, pretty much. 10 months aside was fouled in a car sales career, but we won't go on that one. But I did enjoy it and learned a lot. It was good fun. But even now, I'm learning like Christ. I didn't realize how big this industry is. How big this is. When me, Jeff, and Sam took a guest a few weeks ago, sat down. Sam's in the tiling world, and he goes on about the finishing trades basically and how that operates. And I go to his sites, and I'm in like clean trainers. I'm just construction site. And they're like wiping stuff down as they go around, and it's like, this is mad. And then Jeff's talking about big fit out companies, the companies he works from, the recruitment side of it, and he's just like, but the three of us are all in it, but not in any part, shape, or form in the same sector.
You don't know each other's world.
No, and it's mad. And I see it all the time. There was a stat come out a few years ago that said like 80% of built construction in London is already built. It just needs to be fitted out. So for the next 40 years, a lot of the buildings in London, construction in London, will act on buildings that were already there, but they're just going to be stripped out, and the fit out world will flourish in that world. And I'm finding these companies are huge that I didn't even know existed, and it's just like, wow.
Because it'll all be to do with sustainability, won't it? So the fit outs will be like, actually the best way to do this is retrofit, not
definitely. And it's fascinating, and it's amazing.
And build up and
and then people realise again that's going to cost a lot of money because all the stuff that goes in.
And who's doing it?
Yeah, construction works.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, well, we need more people coming into the industry, not more people leaving. And I look at it, I always think like, you got careers where things are going to get promoted, and I'm like, well, if I was, let's say I was a careers person in a school or a college or something, and I'm not in construction, I've just got to advise and push industries. If I knew some of the ins and outs of the industry, so like, let's say I've now found out that there's a stat that it's the highest suicide rate. Would you morally want to be like, you should go into this one? You don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, actually, I don't know whether it's the best industry for a young person to go into. It seems like they've got a mad problem with suicide.
Yeah. Why would anyone want that for their kids?
Well, exactly. You got this and this. There's a suicide rate that's barely any, and you got this one that's the worst in any industry. I'm like, well, we've got to fucking solve it. And I'm not saying it's the only problem, but it's people's lives. Yeah. Like, how can that, we've spoke about this obviously at length, but like, how can it be a bad thing?
Lives, and it is being made up
to
of.
reduce it.
People say, men in construction are, but the women are suffering as well. And there's figures are in there. Men and women are both taking their lives in this situation across the England and Wales from the ONS statistics. But we know personally from going to Scotland together, and we know they speak about Northern Irish. And I know personally as well from stories over in Ireland as well that have come about. I'm like, but then I look across the world, I'm like, this issue isn't just. Imagine if it was, as the campaign says, 7,000 over the last 10 years. Imagine if that was 7,000 pilots have taken their own lives in the last, or 7,000 nurses, or 7,000 individual kind of trades or jobs where you go, that specific person, that's 7,000 of them. It just wouldn't be accepted. And that's, I think, no, not all. Even soldiers, they did a lot and fair play and well deserved. Like, so much of it was going on and still is today. And it's being recognised and the support's going there. But look at probably the battle them people have had to fight just to get justification on how bad it is. And they probably aren't. A lot of them probably say, no, they're not warranted and they're just let go. But it's mad, an industry that's so depended on can be so.
Yeah, like, and politically at the minute, because I always think about these things, I'm like, well, there's always drivers around what gets invested into and what doesn't. And with the powers that be and where the money comes from and all that. I'm like, well, right now, construction has been topical in the political world, right? It's been something that's, I'm not saying it's been at the top of their agenda, but certainly on the run up to the election, it was like second and third. Yeah. These things that specifically around new homes, right? This lack of homes for people to live in. I'm like, well, okay, that's a direct impact in here. The story is around construction.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, in a time where we have a lack of homes, and the only way those homes are going to get built is by people in the trade at all levels, no matter where it is, but at some point, someone's got to touch it. how can we not have more support? How can the industry then not be put on a pedestal to be like, you know what, I think we've got this a bit wrong, because actually if we'd invested into this and looked after it better, we probably wouldn't be in as bad a shape. Now, a lot of people who might be watching this, listening to it, will say, yeah, but it's actually planning that's the problem. And I agree, planning is one of the problems around new homes. It's a fucking nightmare, right? Get it. But it's not the only problem. And I'm like, you still need the workforce. If we don't have the workforce, we're fucked. The country's fucked. It's fucked. If in 10 years' time we do not resolve the amount of people coming into this industry, it will have a massive, massive negative effect on the UK economy. So even if you just remove all of our like moral consciousness about all of this and our passion around the fact that we give a shit about the people in the industry, remove all of that. If you just look at it from a pure money play, economy play, it's a fucking disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't get solved.
I think it's because a lot of the industry will sort of be, well, can we turn it around 2 or 3 years and look good? No, it's going to take too long. Fuck it.
Yeah. Look, can we do? Yeah, because all the numbers. Yeah. Well, and this is the problem, isn't it, around changing parties, is that they've got this 4-year run. So they go like, what can we solve in 3 years,
look good,
2 years to look good and make sure that we stay in, and then we can have some real long term thing.
Sat up 4 years time, and then they come in and take the cream.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they plan in these little stints. And the justification is like, well, yeah, we're going to have some quicker wins so that we can make sure we can stay in and make some real long term change. Problem is that they don't plan long term; they plan short term in stints, these little sprints, you know. And then I'm like, well, nothing gets done.
Yeah,
the industry needs
the HS2. Look, it's crazy. New homes and HS2 is a big, obviously, talk of it. Isn't it? But look at Crossrail was the same. They made God knows how many programs about how much of a failure that was. But at the same time, it's like, let's do another program on HS2. Let's get let's show how bad it's doing. And and just that it'll sit there and wait to see what happens.
And for me, there's got to be this like. I say someone needs to, but what I think needs to happen is what's happening now, where it's like groups of people come together to make enough of a noise and enough of a stand so that then at some point, politically, we get on the agenda. Yeah. It's the only way to do it. I think it's the only way to do it. I think it's the only way to do it is to make enough of a noise and enough of an impact. Like this, you know, what we're trying to do here, this £2.5 million across the next 3 years. Can we save people's lives and can we show a system and a support network that can do that? Yeah. And I think once we've proved that model, we can then go, okay, we're saying we want to save the next 7,000 at the minute, but I know for a fact at some point during the next 3 years, that model will change and we'll say, fuck that. Like, why are we just trying to save 7,000?
Yeah.
Fuck that. Everyone in the industry deserves the same support. And that's where I think we can then take it to the next level. But
because I've seen it now and I'd do it. And if anything, I'll pull myself away from it. I don't know, publicise myself, advertise it, but I will go and talk on jobs. But I'm in there trying to fix a leaking hole when there's a massive backer that the roof is caved in. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, I can't stand here and take credit for talking to 50 people and going, yeah, we're doing a really good job. We can all really help our mental health, knowing that 2 of these people killed themselves today. And then you can hear that tomorrow. And then the day after. And I go, what the? I can stand there and take a lot of money for it and all. I'm not in that game to literally go in there and just milk this industry of it. And it's just like, I'd rather be part of a picture that goes, I tell you what, I really put my middle finger up and said, no, stop. Like, fix the whole freaking roof. You know what I mean? We're construction workers. This is what we do. We fix things. So why can't we take it on? And it's just, it's a battle that I think you can only win. You know what I mean? Not we're losing. It's the truth of it. But we've got to fight. You know what I mean? You've got to not allow it to happen. And you guys are seeing it now. And I've shared messages with you today. I've got my phone going off my pocket now. And I just think, fuck, these people are in bad ways. And they're between jobs. So they're unemployed. They finished a job last week. Haven't got a start. Had a tear up. And then they're taking their own lives. And then you sit there going, do we take the credit for this? Do we praise ourselves for the work we've done? We ain't even started with the stuff we need to do. And it's just like the right people are starting to understand that we are here because of the noise and because of the campaigns you guys have put together and the people have given us a profile. But you just think we ain't even hit the side yet. And there's so much wrong. And we can sit here and lap up stuff about, I do such a good job doing this in whatever campaign I'm doing in construction. It means fuck all if people keep killing themselves.
Exactly this. And this is where that disconnect, and I think this is why, I know I've said this a few times, but I do think the industry's done a much better job over the last 5 years because I think running the business for the 10 years now, the first 5 years, I never heard anyone talk about any mental health
Yeah.
at all, support, nothing. It just wasn't a thing, right? But I would say the last 5 years, I think the industry's done a really good job of basically almost promoting the fact that there's more poor mental health in this industry than there is in others, and going like, we need to own that and doing a better job, right? And I do think we've done the industry, and you know, most brands now have got an initiative of some form. Most contractors will be the same. You know, I think everyone has put some effort into going, okay, yeah, but it is bad, right? But then the numbers are getting worse each year. So then you go, well, okay, this was a good start, but we're fucking failing. We're failing. Like you
accountability.
You cannot go, we're doing a good job. You have to go, we've tried, but it ain't working, and that's fine. I'm like, people are like, we are doing stuff, but why is it not working? We need to do something different. I'm like, that's a different story to being like, we're doing a great job. We don't need to do more. I'm like, no, you cannot have those two. You know, you could talk it sort of back to like business terms and go like, if I was looking at this as a like a KPI in my business, I'd be like, well, yeah, we're doing all this activity. That's all well and good, but this fucking number's getting worse. Like, you'd just be like, it's insanity. You'd just be like, well, this is stupid. We're doing all this stuff over here, and we're not making the numbers we need. We need to change what we're doing. That's like the normal approach, but it's like because it's this thing that no one actually owns. Yeah, it's an industry thing that needs to happen, and this is the case in point of the industry. Is that no one owns the industry, so therefore no one owns the problem.
Yeah, definitely. Whereas military, police, emergency services, other organisations, there is normally something in a way what encapsulates it. Usually government backed.
And this, I honestly believe that construction should be a public service. That's what I think. I think that's what's missing. I think there's a case for it to go like, you know, COVID proved this, right? So it's like, tradespeople shouldn't be working. It's a disgrace. Okay, so they stopped for 3 weeks, and then everyone went fucking mental that nothing was happening. And I'm like, well, no shit, dickheads. Like, you've not categorised them as key workers, so you've like vilified them for working. Yet now everything's stopped, and all the merchants are shut because you made that happen as well. So then, but even then, they didn't get key worker status. It's this like weird, like, you're not a key worker, but you're not a key worker. So like, stay somewhere in purgatory for us, and crack on.
We got abuse on a bridge working doing structural repairs during COVID, and it was just when done that because there were structural repairs. There's cracks in this bridge. Don't get me wrong, they weren't major, but they were cracks in the bridge where they literally could go, it could fall over. Engineers, worst case scenario, the crack in that bridge, it could collapse, and there's a major motorway underneath. And the people driving past, wankers, you're not a crew worker. I'm like, I'll go skint if I stay at home. I don't get paid, so I'm doing everything. The 12 of us will share this 3-man welfare cabin. We're all from different, and there's no bubbles here whatsoever. We're all sharing a microwave. We've got nowhere to go for lunch because everyone else is closed. The bloody big, I've had to bring sandwiches in, and I don't do sandwiches, and they're cold. But literally, even at summer, I'll do like a hot lunch all year round. But it's literally that, and the abuse you got, and then
it's madness, isn't it?
I like to take the term endearment in the end. Just go, this is nice. It's nice to speak to other people. Isn't it?
But that's the exact like picture. That it should be a public service. It should be treated like that. Why is it?
Quite a lot to say why it shouldn't. It's quite tough to say why it shouldn't.
Why shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me why it shouldn't. You know, and that was the perfect case in point of where it's shown that it should. And there's numerous things, and it's like,
could it become one? Is that a thing? Something it can become? Or when I get into presidential power.
I love the fact you keep calling it presidential. It's brilliant. The first president of the United Kingdom.
I'll keep the royal family. I'm not too bad. Good stuff.
Could it be? Why couldn't it?
Yeah.
The problem, because it's funded in a way where
the highways, national highway stuff, is that the public? I suppose that is public service. It might have got the categories of it. Don't know. A little bit of homework for us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
interesting.
But I think that would be the start of the industry having more support.
Yeah. White paper. Sorry. Lost City campaign.
Yeah.
Next year. Where's it going? What we're doing? Okay, sit back. Come January, we go again.
Yeah. So look, I think there's a time and a place to be able to like flood people's consciousness with a message that, you know, a period of time where you're like, it's Christmas and you know. So we will always planned to have a big punch, and then ease off, let people have Christmas, and then we'll be back out the doors. One of the things I think we're learning is that the way we're going to raise the money on this is not necessarily just through online. Because I had someone ring me today who wants to just basically give the money that they've earned from their workwear. I don't know what it is and how much it is, but this is just this is a tradesperson who has started to sell some of their own merch, and they're like, I want to give you the lump sum that I've earned over the last. I don't even know what the period is, and I don't know what the amount is, but I know it'll be significant in terms of an individual, doing it. We've got stuff around we spoke about this 7K idea where we're like, okay, we can get a 7K run, get that because it feels like the way we're going to be able to do it is 3 brands. So how do we get them to fundraise on behalf of the Lost City?
Yep.
How do we get individuals to fundraise on behalf of it? And how do we do our own events?
Yeah.
So because then I think we're covering most of the bases. The online strategy of getting people to donate is difficult. You're not catching people at the right time a lot of the time, in my opinion. You're just sort of putting stuff in front of them.
Yep.
If they're ready to, they might. Whereas if you do an event or you get people engaged enough that they feel like they want to raise money for it, that is where I think it can be insanely powerful, particularly if we get, this was all built around the fact that we have a thing called Trade Brain in the business that is like a membership thing, like a membership product for brands, right? And the whole point of it is that we believe the research and the data we get on tradespeople, brands should have it, and if they have it, they'll be able to make better decisions, right? And to support. So we built this thing because we had loads of data, and it was unconnected and messy and shit. Really, it was accident. Like everything in our business, it was an accident. It was this thing.
So it's almost like data's only good if you use it.
Yeah, right. And if it's packaged in the right way, so we were like, we need to do better with this. We can connect all the dots, and we can start. We did it for free, and then we're like, actually, if we get this funded, we can do more of it, and we can, grow the business, and we can do more shit. So Trade Brain is the reason we were able to fund the Lost City.
Yeah,
we always said, if we get enough members on this, then we'll start taking the money from that and start to fund this stuff. Brilliant. So it's worked as a brilliant model for us. And I forgot my point. What were we talking about?
2025, how it's going to be done. People going out. We said about the 7K, how people are going to raise money for it, how it's going to work.
Oh, shit. Don't you hate that when you've got such a shit brain that you just lose your train of thought? It's left the station and I'm behind. I'm still stood there.
How people are going to go next year to actually do it?
Yeah. So we think that by making sure that we've got more brands in Trade Brain, so more members there, we can get them galvanized. So that we did like a big launch. You were there. We did this launch around this campaign with all of the Trade Brain members and partners that we wanted involved. This secret little party.
Good.
It was good.
Cracking.
And from that, I believe by doing it in that way and by sort of collaborating, involving everyone, you get this buy-in where I think we'll get half the brands who are there and we're involved being like, we should raise money through the business. Now, all the businesses we work with are 1,000 times bigger than us, right? Yeah. They're all in the industry. They've been around for ages. They've got hundreds, if not a lot of them, thousands of employees. Well, you think of that and you go, if just one of those can go, this is what we want, this is what we're going to fundraise over, this month or this year. I think there's a strategy of being able to get those brands involved where that 2.5 million figure suddenly becomes this thing where you go, well, we've got this going on with 30 brands that are all fundraising, doing different stuff. We've got the 7K that we do each year, and we get a couple of thousand people do that, and they're all doing 100, 200 quid. We've got another couple of events that we run. There's a boxing event in the works, which is going to be good, I think. I need to talk to you about that.
I'm not boxing. I'm not boxing.
Would you do it or not?
Depends it is, isn't it?
Yeah, depend on the opponent.
Is he smaller, mate?
There's a few people
signed.
There's a few people signed up already. It's going to be really good, I think.
I don't know with the boxing thing, is it? I was going to call someone out now.
Proper influencer led, and so I think once you start having these like events, as well as this army of people trying to raise money for this project, I think we can smash through the figure. I really do. And
you'll see it. Just saying now, with just the few weeks and what it's meant to people. You've seen the messages privately. You've received a few. We've spoken privately about a few cases. We've had one today. What's probably the most, what's the way to say it? Front up, honest, real situation I've dealt with ever, 100%. But luckily, a bit of the crisis team behind us, and knowing we've got a trusted team there, right? But now this is saying, like, imagine what this could be in terms of really helping, supporting. When I've literally got a guy, fuck it's that, telling me I'm going to swing from a tree in an hour's time, I've had enough. I'm on my own. Enough physically had to say to him, tell you what, you're not on your own because you've got me right involved with this.
Yeah.
And not only that, your best mate as well, who literally works for me, who's told me about you, is well involved with this. It's best you speak with someone, please. We need to help you. We've got people we can help you. And that's the message we've got to realise to be people. If you're going to make these decisions, you're not on your own with it. So now you've shared it with me and all.
Yeah.
Let's help you. We want to help you. Because
And that's the thing, isn't it? Is that I think before, and this is no slight on anyone in the industry at all, and particularly the other charities and stuff like that. But I think there's been this, like, for me anyway, my experience with it is that the signposting on where to go and how quick you can get help. I think it's not been. I always just think one place where people can go and everyone knows they can direct them to, I think, is helpful. Like, and for me, I don't care where the money goes. We're not, from an OnTheTools perspective, and you know this, and I've been really open about it. Like, I don't want to touch any of this money. This is not what. It's why they're just giving pages there. We don't see it. Like, we just help get people there, and it'll be the same with all of the other stuff. I don't care who's involved necessarily. I obviously wanted you and Gav at Banner Builders, as our partners. But even if that grew and there was more parts, I don't care. That's fine. Like, as long as we've got people who understand what we're trying to do and that can deliver the support, that is all that matters. Yeah. And like, we raised 20 grand at the awards the other night.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how insane is that?
Yeah.
That's one event that wasn't prepared to, we'd not done lots of planning to raise money on that night because you don't know how, obviously, the campaign only launched a week before, so you don't know how it's going to go. You don't know what. So we it was relatively reactive in terms of
we was on the page, on the GoFundMe page, and literally, whilst we're at the table, I was like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, another one. Unless we called out the Sparkies.
Yeah.
I was just playing with fire.
But like, the silent auction did amazing. Like, I got the numbers.
You said
the
numbers, I think, and then it's gone up and all. Incredible.
And I'm like, that's the first stab, unplanned. Imagine what we can do when we're doing this shit.
A core room of 550 people, who give a shit about this industry, first-hand, hands-on. Probably everyone was kind of in the industry, wouldn't they? I think.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's
I mean,
part of
there'll be a few stragglers, but like,
yeah. But I think we had, not to say it was the most diverse looking table I've ever. 2 tables we had across it. What it was. I've been to many awards over the years, and I left one angry. I remember coming out just thinking, I just want to clump someone here, but I don't do that because I'm professional and I'm a founder of a charity. Never get in trouble. But I've walked out once before, and I've sat there and I've watched people party and given out 20, 30 awards, and not one person's mentioned the fact of mental health in construction. This was 2 years ago as well, and it was just like, how can you not even address it in any way? I'm not saying fundraiser, I'm not saying donate money to us and support us, but please do. But I'm just saying, avoid the elephant in the room here. Don't celebrate this stuff that goes on. It's great when everyone's numbers are dropping, and that is the biggest thing now. You see stuff online, you're just like, you're all praising this because you're doing really well, but then you're in this world where you're just like, nothing fucking matters if we keep on killing ourselves. I'll keep going back to it, but keep on killing ourselves. Like, and that's just angered me. But I'd done it last year when you said to me, Steve, you come to the walls. I said, I'm coming, and I didn't know. And you say stitched me up, but it was a nice stitch. You said that we're going to be working with you next year going forward, and if you don't know Steve, you'll get to know him. He's quite loud. Found that was a term of endearment.
It was, yeah. We didn't know each other as well then either, so
yeah.
I didn't know if I'd cross the mark or not. But again, like
No, you're way away from that. The mark's quite.
But
far
I meant
across.
it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's showed, hasn't it? Right?
We were there. We just me and Liam there. I literally thought, oh Jesus, what I didn't expect. This is amazing. What's next year going to bring? Then we went to the rally. We had a rally.
Yeah, we did the rally in Scotland.
We had a rally. It's kind of from us. I think we didn't realise it was a busy time. Things going on. We're just like, all right, we'll just go out and just get this done. Where we're going? We're going to John O'Groats and get a van. Volkswagen gives a van, and like, we're going up there, and we're gonna have some fun. And it was different. It was a different few days. It was brilliant though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was because we got to. I just when you stop off and you meet people that you've never met them before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're having this first thing. You tell them why you're doing it, and you're basically just saying, "Yeah, we're driving around Scotland and talking to construction workers and tradespeople. Like that's what we're doing." And people are like, "Really? You just driving around doing that?" We're like, "Yeah." And like, wow, like But having those one-to-one, what was that place called? That mad tool shop we went to.
Highland Industrial Supplies. Shout out to Highland Industrial Supplies.
So it was like Aladdin's cave.
And he said he got in touch with me last week. The gentleman,
did it?
His name, yeah. And, he said because there's a couple other people we know, a Hunter Plant Hire. We've done the tractor trip with this year, are working up there in Inverness Harbour or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, that there, and we stopped. What's the gentleman's name?
Met Jimmy, didn't we?
Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, what man? He was there at the awards, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Guy.
Yeah.
Life. And then the gentleman we met in Scotland, the painter and decorator,
Stuart McLean.
Stuart McLean.
That was shit. That with P&D, we met him at the site was it the first site we stopped off at?
It was the first site. Yeah, just on the eastern side of Edinburgh. And his words along the lines of the loneliness and how it's used as a form of torture. But as you said, it's
solitary confinement.
Solitary confinement is used in solitary confinement is used across the world as a form of torture.
Yeah.
But we look at crane drivers as well.
Yeah,
they go up there in the morning, sit there all day long.
All day.
Yeah.
And that he's still got a view. But I mean, generally there's loads of trains that work on their own, especially in P&D is like it's known for it, isn't it? You're on your own a lot, and indoors, dark lights.
He had problems before working at a team, didn't he? He had big problems there, so he went on his own, and now he's in this world. So he escaped that problem, and now he's in
another problem. Yeah,
it's just bonkers. Like to just go out there and just realise, like, okay, we have just driven for 14 hours for 3 days, but like we've done this, and we're like, now didn't we? Me and you were having a little bromance along the way.
Yeah.
And then we had the kids bus behind us. What just stunk of farts and BO. Literally where these people were sweating in
what
there.
I always remember is that because we'd like switch around with people in the back of our one.
Yeah.
And some more of that, it'd often be, usually it was you or Alice, wasn't it? And like, Will and, who's the other lad's name?
George.
And George, old De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And every time they come in, they'd be like, "Can you put some music on?" And me and Steve were like, "No, we're chatting." Like, and we would just have
listened to like 2 songs.
Yeah, like in like 3 days of journey, we were just like, that's how bromance is made. You just talk, don't you?
Yeah. It was beautiful.
What I do remember is when we were like, I would say we were probably like 3 or 4 hours away, and then we just got into that. When you've been awake for too long, or you're on like I used to get this when you were younger, and you'd stay up all night with your mates, and at some point you would have some kind of like weird hysterical. We had a moment. We were about 3 or 4 hours out, and we were just done. And I can't even remember what we started laughing about. We just couldn't stop, and we were like, it's like delirium, when it like kicks in.
Yeah. And then when we stopped. When we got the day 2 end of it, we stopped in the Highlands, and then we stopped that little.
I wish we'd been able to get there earlier. That
cheeky little beer in there.
Oh yeah, remember that? Yeah.
Town.
My first beer.
Your first beer, it was. Yeah. You went, fuck, I'm doing it.
I know. I'd gone sober for like sounds like I hadn't drank for like 3.5 months or something, and I was like just enjoying not doing it. And then we walked into this little village, didn't we? This boozer, Scottish village.
Just brave stuff. Just 2 random Englishmen working in a random place.
In, and then when they said, "What do you want?" I thought, I can't order a Coke, so I was like, "I'll have a pint, please." And that's what came.
Sound hard.
Sound hard. Yeah, ridiculous. How pathetic. Lovely pint though. Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was, and that was cool. And we went all the way there to buy ourselves Christmas decorations.
Yeah,
John O'Groats.
Still got that book. So you bought the same book as me.
Yes, I did.
Haggis the hairy. No. Harry the Hairy Haggis
Yes.
Snatcher or something.
Can you say it without trying to be Scottish? I read it again the other day. My missus was like, just shut up.
Oh,
I said, you can't.
I don't do that.
No.
Oh, is it you thing?
Yeah.
I wish I did now.
So I read it out loud. My missus was like, are you actually like proper Scottish? No, she didn't. She absolutely hammered me. She's like, just stop it. I was like, haggis. You can't say haggis.
Haggis.
I know. I was
Haggis.
trying not to. There's some of the words in there.
It's a mental book, isn't it?
Yeah,
It makes
brilliant.
it's like it's wild, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was good.
Affy loves it.
There we go. Hamish
Hamish the Hairy Haggis. That's
Hamish.
it.
Hamish.
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 Hamish the hell haggis.
That's
Yeah, Hamish. Oh, that's not Dutch. Sorry.
oh, that
Hamish.
is terrible.
Get page one up
Yeah.
and then I'll read it. Everyone, it's nighttime stories with Steve Kersake.
But yeah, he
Steve
loves it.
Kersake.
We've got a nice little Christmas decoration and that little that book.
He's gone for it.
And what I do remember of it as well, you remember that it had all the arrows in from COVID
Yeah.
that they'd just not picked up.
Yeah.
They'd not took off the floor. I was like, this
Yeah.
is wild. It feels really
Definitely.
weird.
An ice cream shop. Was it all year round ice cream shop? And then, yeah. all year
Bookshop, ice cream
Bookshop.
shop.
Clearest day, pretty much on record,
Weren't
John
it?
Groats. Blue
Do
Sky.
you remember we met those two guys and gave them the T-shirts and said that
Yes.
they'd won the competition of the
Yeah.
most northern based construction workers today?
Well, yeah, you were the highest point of the UK, working up here. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I feel
And they were like,
on the tools, a massive organisation,
Like,
media
what?
team, and I was hanging on to the coat's house, and it was going to be quite big then. What do you get? We're like, we got a fucking free T-shirt.
we got a construction sport T-shirt for you. And they were like, all right, cheers, lads.
This competition was just literally made up 100 yards ago,
Yeah.
coming up the road.
Yeah.
They were for Inverness, weren't they? So they were like, they'd driven like 2 hours. So they said they got to drive 2 hours back, and
Yeah,
and then come back again for a concrete.
Because
court
we said
tomorrow.
like, why can't you just get digs? And they were like, no.
Just showed the problem, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, they won't let us. And I was like, what a ball ache of a journey to do that.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
through
Amazing place, isn't it? So we want to go
Beautiful.
down to Land's End now. We've got to go to the other point.
got to
of
go to the other bit,
so
haven't we?
maybe we'll do a something along
I reckon
Project
we'll
7K.
get. Oh, mate,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, easy.
You're telling me we can't get like out of
Yeah.
all those people that were involved, we can't get like 20 of them doing a little van rally.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the what's her name? The people who are part of the trade brain have multiple premises all the way down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something along those lines, or some of the big sites we know.
Or we're definitely doing
There
that.
you go, just to drop that one in there.
Lost City van rally. That would be great.
It was cool, wasn't it? I really liked it. We literally said there's something in this. Now we've just got to tested the water. Had a great few days.
How would you raise money on it? Would you just get people to pay money to do it?
I think you'd want to kind of set up with the places you've
You
visited.
can't really raise money, can you? Do it?
Yeah,
So I don't know whether I would sponsor one of my mates. But I went to my mates and was like, "Listen, will you sponsor me? I'm going to drive down to Land's End." They'd be like, "Am I paying for your fucking holiday?"
You'd
Or like,
sponsor the van. Sponsor the van you're in. Get teams to enter it.
yeah,
And have an entry fee to raise money to
yeah.
do it.
Actually, Gav introed me to another organisation that do this, but they do like a mad one. It's like a 4 or 5 day European.
Gumball rally.
Yeah, like that,
Yeah.
and it's massive, and they raise loads. Of,
Yeah,
But-
it's just
so
or
it's-
bangers. Is it a banger rally? Sort of
Yeah.
thing.
I
That's it,
can't.
yeah.
The guys emailed me. Sorry if you end up listening to this. I haven't gone back to him yet, but I need to.
There's only one rally going on next year.
Yeah. But I can't remember who runs it. But apparently, anyway, they've been doing it for years, and they do all these like challenges as you go along. So it's like you got fancy dress in there. You got to go and do things in certain
Yeah,
towns.
I
and stuff,
think
and I was like, that's an interesting, quite a fun way of being able to like. Get
I think
people
we
involved
could
in it.
literally quite work it out as in we done 14 hours a day. Let's do 6 hours driving with a
Yes.
few tasks in between.
Yeah.
Like you say, a few
We
challenges.
drove
like-
too far, didn't we?
Yeah,
For
we didn't
too
really
long.
get to embrace it. Look
Like
how
that-
incredible that place. Yeah,
That place we stayed at in the on the lock. We didn't
driving.
really
We got driving away from it.
kind of
It was like,
saw it in the dark
Yeah.
both times, didn't we? I know in the
Yeah.
morning it was like dusk, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
like,
can you imagine just chilling out there.
yeah, just to have had an hour on the night would have been
Yeah.
beautiful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. little challenge in the water.
You wanted to get in the water. I was never getting in that water.
But
Never.
time, and it would look cold. And there
Yeah.
could have been a monster in it.
There could have been a monster in it. Yeah, there could have been a monster in it.
Anything can happen.
But yeah, so in terms of next year for the City, I think there's going to be a lot of activity. I think it will be not less about the content, because I think we did the content push. I think one of the things I definitely want to do is develop the lostcity.org more, to tell more stories, offer more support. I think it's we've launched it as this like MVP because we needed to get it ready, but I think there's a lot more we can do with that. But ultimately, it's about the fundraising.
Yeah.
And then making sure that people know they can get support, because I always remember one of the things that stuck with me was with you and Gav. I remember we went for lunch to talk about this campaign, and I was like, "This is what we want to do. I want both of you in it." You both were like, "There's lots like we can support more people now, as just as what we're doing now as charities, but not enough people reach out to get the support." So there's this there's the gap of we've got the data that shows that tradespeople are saying, you know, I think it was like 46 or 47% said the biggest thing they would see as support and help and that they want access to is professional therapy, right? This is where this was driven from, right? But then as an and I say anecdotally in the most respectful way, but from two charities that I spoke to as conversations, you've both been like, not enough people reach out, and I'm like, that's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we see it probably the way that the lack of funding that we've kind of had over the years, because we're learning to do things and how it goes. But the likes of this campaign has been huge to help us now. It's like for us as well, like how can we put ourselves in a position to deliver that service and have the right infrastructure behind us to support multiple calls coming in. And we've kind of looked at now like, we need a decent team here now to manage this in-house. We've got the crisis team there in place who we know and trust to support. It's about us and then having this team in place that can go, okay, this is probably, over to you, bang. Just simple as that, within minutes. That today it was literally fucking minutes. Terrifying minutes, but it was minutes. So we need professional people. So we can do so much, and I get it, and there's a reason why I'm in this space, and I speak to the right people and have my own ways of dealing with this stuff, but we are underfunded, undersupported, but at the same time, it's about us getting our mission probably right and showing people this is what we're about, and then it's a case of us going out there that I've shown multiple messages since the Lost City campaign went out to show this is the severity of the problem. But then at the same time, looking back at the rugby we done 6 weeks ago and go, look at the outcome of this event that we done. Like, these people loved it. It's such great fun. And then look at the messages off the back of that shows by kind of doing those kind of events, opens a fresh community of people and a fresh environment for people to go, I can actually fucking, I'm not the only, thank you for you guys giving me the opportunity to speak at the awards. And I did, and just kind of got my little message across. Bang, someone messaged me over LinkedIn yesterday and was just like, thank you for this. I want to catch up. So, that person's reached out, and I was like, what the opportunity goes amiss when you go out and have a good few beers and a party and all that. The actual, what that has done for us to just be able to say, we're here, by the way, guys, just let you know, like that night alone, there's probably multiple people on the tables we're with. It's saved lives, 100%. This campaign has saved lives. I know it has. I've got the messages literally wearing the T-shirt. And I just want people to realise, and a massive thank you to you guys as well, and to show that this isn't just words. And there's so many organisations out there, don't see to sit and name and shame anyone. I'm not really interested in that, to be honest, anymore. But the idea is like, okay, I can sit and be loud online all the time and tell people this needs to be done, this needs to be done. But if then someone gives me the opportunity to get it done, I've got to fucking deliver. Because I'll look like I'll just look like someone who's just here to cause problems. And I get that. And that's probably where I was at the start of it. But I'm found my feet now. I'm like, brilliant. Now, if I got the opportunity now to do something about this, your campaign, and we did a bit of support from the Get Construction Sorting campaign was popped up over the last few weeks as well. It's been brilliant just to really help us. I'm like, we are being represented worldwide in a way, and massively, obviously, in the UK. And it's like, we can really transform this now. And I think that's the idea of what we see as well, with the help of yourselves as well, it's getting that message across, as you have done so well, is once people trust you, they will then open up to you. And you get a lot of trust from strangers by just putting an open platform out online, don't you? And then that now is I'm realising that people are seeing us, knowing us, trusting us, know what I'm like, know what I sound like, and know that I am like, just drop us a message. Help out. And then, so we're at that position like, right, we need the support quick, because this could really fucking start to go. We've got ways and means to get around.
And that's why that's why the funding is so important, though, right? Because I think obviously we've started something here, and I do believe we've started something that isn't going away. In the Lost City, I mean, obviously that we want to eradicate the problem. But that continuous funding is like, it is really important, because it is going to save lives, and it is, and, this stuff isn't cheap to get people into emergency support. And, there's other programs you can use that are more ongoing, which I think will be suitable as well. And I think they will be provided, and that's where I think we can, at scale, be able to turn it on a bit more to go, well, actually, we're going over the 7,000 now. We want to support X. I envisage just being able to launch something that is product base that people can sign up to and be like, okay, I've got my like essentially like a private healthcare for tradespeople, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I say private healthcare, maybe it hasn't, you know, maybe it's not Bupa or whatever the other ones are, but I think there's a world where they can access stuff like this, like that, and it goes to everyone.
Yeah, and indirectly, not just saying the power of what we're doing, Alex, but the millions of people that we tune in for this podcast, they're all following the same path. We've got my very good friend Nick Thurston said at the week saying he's got stage 4 colon cancer, uninsured, unsupported. That's a mental health issue in its own, alongside the fucking cancer. Then we've had James Maluish here last week saying about how people can get a little bit of financial support, insurances should get in place, and advising. And now we're saying it's all going down that route of like, who's the clever cookie out there who can go, here's a product.
How do we package this together so that people can just be like, this is what I want. And it's all here.
Like, it is. And you're really starting to see that. And construction workers won't get insured until they realise, shit, I've had myself included. I took a decent, I'm very well insured, shall we say now. It costs me a lot of money. It doesn't cost me a lot of money at all. It's very well warranted. And I know that if my arse falls out again, to put it lightly, with all the stuff I've gone through, I know, bang, I'm getting sorted out straight away, and I can make sure the money comes in and puts a roof over our head. And that's so many people. And if you don't, because it will never happen to you. It will never happen to you. That's what everyone says. I'm the same thing. Everyone is. I still am now. But I know that, right, I'll tell you what happened. I broke my leg before I went to Vegas, and I thought I couldn't go. But fortunately, I had insurance in place, so they got the right kind of protection cast on it. I could go, and I was like, that's why I took out insurance. Going to Vegas on one leg. I got mad at Benidorm driving down the mobility scooter down the boulevard, but I still got, because I was prepared.
But you bang on, because it's not just the funding for therapy, and I do believe that everyone in the industry should have access to it. I just think it should be a working right. We've got it in our business. Like every employer's got access to an employee assistant program if there's things they can use it for, and it's instant. And I'm like, because no one, back to this thing again, because no one owns construction, it's not there. It's like, it's not my problem. Well, they're all self-employed, they have to sort it out themselves. I'm like, really? Yeah. Like, is that the case or not? Because I don't think
kind
it should.
Of see it as well, not the union side, but even like the trades unions as well. You get multiple ones of them for one kind of, not trades, more of the
governing bodies. There's like 200 and something governing bodies. It's like, and there's not, but then I suppose you've got things like CITB and like, the CLC, but they're different. They're for different purposes. They're for training, and they're for like,
and this is
whereas like this is like just a guardian, and this is why like I think about this so much, and I just be like, well, fuck it, then we'll do it.
Bouncing a few ideas, Danny Clark at CITB, and I was very much talking to him and speaking to the awards as well. It's just like, and it is about getting this and showing why it is a training initiative in a way as well for them. And fair play, they've got their criteria they have to work with. They can't all sort of fix everything. I was like, there's something. We'll next 10 years. We'll show
next, and that's what I think. That's what I think OnTheTools is going to become. Yeah, I think it's just going to become this thing that, that exists to provide care and look after tradespeople. Look, I think that's where it's heading, and like obviously we have to fund that. So our model is like, we work with brands, we give them as much information and like exposure as possible with the right ones, and that's where we're moving to. We're moving to these like more sort of like exclusive partnerships rather than working with everyone. Mm-hmm. We're sort of like backing the brands that we think want to work with us more long term, and vice versa, the ones we know care about the shit that we care about. Yeah. And then I think we'll be in this world where we use those funds to build something that can do what we're speaking about here, where it's like all they've got, it's free. And then if they want to buy extra insurances, all that sort of fine. Like we've got all the partners that can plug, but something is needed because trades don't know where to. They're just getting all this shit from different areas or not getting it at all, and that's where the risk is when they've not got it.
Scary thing these days. The only thing to advertise is where to gamble your money.
Where to gamble your money,
not where to invest your money and secure your health. But Lee Wilcox, we've been going for a little while. It's been
led you are, mate.
No, amazing. I can't thank you enough. I will suck up to you because you've done a massive campaign for us. But before that, it's been an incredible 18 months, best part of 2 years. Long may it continue. Look forward to
Lifelong, as I told you
You
earlier.
can come back before the next 10 years
yeah,
to explain. But no, like I say, if you're ever in the area, you can always pop in. the mics are always ready to go.
Yeah, man.
Staff ain't really putting their weight. But we can do our best.
So lostcity.org, if you're listening.
Lostcity.org is where to find the campaign.
Yeah.
Where to donate to the campaign.
Get support or give support. That's what I keep saying. You can go and give some support by donating, sharing it with some other people. If you can't donate, share it with some people. And if you need support, go there, because there's stuff on there where you've got construction support access, banner builders access, people who will be able to help instantly, because that's what we're doing it for.
Amazing.
Good shit.
Bosh. Lovely stuff.